Today we have Unit 1, The Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde. Of course, the author's name is not written, but this is one of the stories written by Oscar Wilde. Before we begin the unit, there is always a pre-task. Now we find the pre-task in this case is very meaningful and very much connected to the unit Selfish Giant. In the pre-task, a person is called selfish when he returns love for love, respect for respect, smile for smile, help for help, and hate for hate, and so he is never happy. So only those people who love you, you are going to love them. Who are respecting you, only respect them. You smile only at those who smile at you. Then it is selfish. The second stanza has shown the happy condition when love is returned for hate, when respect is shown to those who don't show respect to you, and love to all the strangers as well. Loving your brother, sister and friend is one thing, but to unknown person is what is bringing happiness. The poem in the pre-task is a forerunner, what you call it a preface, for the story of Selfish Giant. The story runs something like this. Now here we begin with the story. Every afternoon, while returning from school, the children used to play in the giant's garden, as he was not there in the castle. Castle is actually palace. The Hindi word is mahal. I think even in Gujarati you say mahal. The entire garden used to come to life when the children played. Entire meaning whole, fully. When the children played and enjoyed themselves. Now how was the garden coming to life? Because the flowers, birds, trees bearing fruits were all signs of happiness. So you could see the flowers blooming, you could hear the birds singing, you could see the tree bearing fruits. So all these are signs of happiness. You can see some of the difficult words below the picture. Stanza is a verse. This is mainly used in the poetry. Like in the paragraph writing you say para for the prose part. And in the poetry you say stanza or a verse. Strangers are unknown people. Castle is palace and entire means whole or fully. One fine day, the giant returned and found the children playing in his garden. He was very angry and shouted at the children. So see the tone. He was angry and so he shouted at the children. He told the children that it was his garden and he didn't like them playing there. The next thing he did was to put up a notice on a gate. See, trespassers will be prosecuted or executed. You'll find in many societies such notices are there. So the other people cannot use your society road to move from one to another. Since then, the children stopped going to the garden. Since when? When the notice was put up. When the giant told them not to play in his garden. They would sit by the side of the wall of the garden and think about their happy days. How happy they were climbing the trees, eating the fruits, running about the trees. They became sad. These happy days are bringing sad thoughts to their mind. When the spring came And then the spring came. Do you think the spring came to the giant's garden? Yes, you are right. The spring did not come to his garden. The trees stopped bearing fruits. The flowers stopped blooming. And what's more, even the birds stopped singing. So you can see the giant's selfishness is being answered by the nature. You can see in the picture the giant chasing the boys and the girls out of his garden. What is the meaning of trespass? Illegal entry or unlawful or into the personal property. The winter prolonged, meaning stretched, and the cold winds blew bitterly and roared all day round. So the wind were gashing and they were so cold. They were making so much of noise. The happiness had deserted the giant's garden. Deserted is abandoned, to give up, to go out. The giant wondered. He is thinking, why the spring did not visit his garden? No season came to his garden except long, long winters. See the notice? Trespassers will be prosecuted. But one fine day, the giant, while lying in bed, heard some music, and it was sweet. He thought, it must be the king's musician. But at his own surprise, it was a small bird at his window. The atmosphere was charged with fragrance. Charged meaning to be activated. Fragrance is sweet smell. The giant relaxed. He felt out of tension. Relax is to feel out of tension, out of worries. That the spring had at last visited his garden. So he was so gloomy, he was so sad that spring was not coming to his garden. But at last, the birds at his window singing and the entire atmosphere changing, and he walked to the window. When he heard the birds singing, when he smelled the beautiful smell of the flowers, he went to the window. What do you think he saw? Right. Yes, the children had crept into the garden through a hole in the wall. See, he is looking at them. See the wall. See the children. They were happily climbing trees, playing, singing, and above all, shouting. Can you stop children from shouting and singing and dancing? Only one small boy stood under a tree, and that corner still experienced winter. This particular sentence, please stress on that. That corner still experienced winter. Why? Because that small boy is not able to climb the tree. The small boy was standing there and crying. The tree too asked the boy to climb it, but all in vain. It was all useless. Who do you think came to the little boy's help? Well, none other than the giant. Help, H-E-L-P. There's a bit of typing mistake. H-E-L-P. Well, none other than the giant. The giant took the little boy and placed him on the tree. The giant at last understood and also realized his mistake. He was truly sorry for his sinful act. Truly sorry meaning he felt from heart. that what he had done was very cruel, sinful act, breaking the moral law. You can also say cruel. He wanted to repair the wrong, meaning mend. He wanted to correct the wrong, that is his mistake. So he demolished the wall. He pulled down the wall around the garden. Ever since then, that is, the giant's garden has seen only spring. Now winters don't come. He told the children that it was their garden. Their. Just then, everything came to life, like the old times. Birds singing, flowers blooming, and trees bearing fruits. So what is the moral of the story? Nature is always on the side of those who are not selfish and greedy. Nature has its own laws to punish the wrongdoers. Wrongdoers, one word can be culprits. Let's once again look at the meanings. Stanza, it is a verse that is used in the poetry. Stranger is unknown person. Castle means a palace. Mahal in Hindi or Gujarati. Entire meaning whole, that means full. Then the word comes as trespasses or trespass. It is illegal entry. You can find this on many buildings also. And if you have been to ISRO, on the wall it is written. Prolong meaning extended or lengthened. Deserted meaning abandoned or to give up, to leave. Charge meaning to be activated. Fragrance is the sweet smell. Crept meaning to crawl, to move in timidly. So these are some of the difficult words, and most of them have been placed on the same page, so you don't have to wait till the lesson to be over. Sinful, breaking the moral law, and a simple word can be cruel act. What is the moral of the story? Nature is always on the side of those who are not selfish and greedy. Who are not selfish and greedy. Nature has its own laws to punish the wrongdoers, that is the culprit. Now what type of essay you can get here? The essay topic you can have nature, the moral can be turned into the essay topic. Nature versus man, or man versus nature. If you write, then this story can be easily utilized for writing your essay. Let us see little more vocabulary. These are phrases. Come to life, meaning you have the live show. So here come to life is live. All in vain is useless. Truly sorry, sincerely sorry. To repair is to mend. Placed him, meaning put him up. Use the words from the lesson with nearest meaning and underline them. Now, in the first part of the sentence, they have given whatever is underlined at the later part is the answer. I like cool smell of rose. So what is the word used in the lesson is fragrance. A bus dashed against a pillar and uprooted it. Now the word uprooted, in the lesson it is written knocked down, or the word is used demolished. In that movie, the cruel villain killed many innocent people. So what is the word used? Wicked. Even if you write sinful, it would be correct. The king built a fort to protect his capital. In this case, it is a castle. A dog slipped into my compound through iron bars of the gate. Slipped into. The meaning for that is crept, crawling in. Look, the sun is rising from behind the clouds. What a beautiful, either you say scene or you say what a beautiful sight. Now let us complete these sentences meaningfully. I have just given for helping you, but you can at times write it on your own way. My heart melted when I saw the baby child crying. Or you can say, my heart melted when I saw a boy weeping for food. Police caught a trespasser and prosecuted him. It can be also the security of your society caught a trespasser and prosecuted him. We call him selfish because he only thinks about himself. Again, we can call it this way also. We call him selfish because he loves only those who love him. You can take it from the Preface poem. Colorful flowers blossom when or bloom when it is spring. So you find colorful flowers mainly in the spring season. They had waited the year round. Therefore, we could not wait any longer. So because you had given them a time and they did not turn up, so you could not wait any longer. The prince left the palace and wandered in unknown streets. So it can be the boy, disappointed with his result, wandered in unknown streets. The small children peeped out and smiled at us. So it can be anyone peeping out, even the beggars sometimes peep out and then they smile at you. Especially when you're traveling in a train and you are sitting by the window. You see the people on the roadside, passing through the countryside. They smile at you. Cries and sounds of various creatures. On one side, on your left hand side are the creatures, on the second side we have the sound, and still further right side we have the sentence. Bees, bee, the sound made by them is hum. We heard bees humming. You also have the hummingbirds. You came across hummingbirds in your lesson 11.5 days. Cat purrs. Purring of cat frightened the children. Cuckoo. It coos. They heard cuckoo coos in the morning. Donkey, their sound is bray. Donkey's brays irritated everyone, meaning annoyed. Parrot screeches. Kids heard screeches of parrot. Elephant, their sound is trumpets. We heard trumpets of elephant in the circus. Sparrow. You don't find them so many nowadays. Sparrows, the sound is chirp. These days, we do not hear sparrow chirps or the sparrow chirping. Frog, croaks. In the rainy season, croaks of frog is heard. Monkey, chatter. Many times we call our friends also chatterbox. Monkeys in zoo were chattering, talking endlessly. Person, talks. Persons always talk uselessly. Not always, but many a times. serpent. The sound is hiss. Snake charmer, that is sapera, can make serpents to hiss. They play the bean and the snake starts making the sound. Wolf, howls. Hungry wolves were howling. Now these sounds, many a times they are asked in your Kaun Banega Crorepati, such exercises, quiz. They ask you the sound and you are unaware. So whatever you learn in school, see that you lock it up in your brains and use it whenever required. So now I won't read the sentence, only the sound. Bee hums, cat purrs, cuckoo coos, donkeys brays, parrot screeches, elephant trumpets, sparrow chirps, frog croaks, monkey chatters, person talks, serpent hisses, and wolf howls. Let's go to the question answer session, comprehension. Where did the children go while returning from school? While returning from school, again from the question, the children used to go and play in the giant's garden. Question 2. What did the giant see when he returned to his castle? What did the giant see when he returned to his castle? Answer. When the giant returned to his castle, again part from the question, he saw the children playing in his garden. Question 3. How did the garden look when the children were playing in it? Answer. When the children were playing in the garden had a lovely look, as the grass was green and soft, flowers bloomed, and trees had fruits, and to add to this beauty, the birds sang sweetly. So you had an orchestra. Question 4. How did the selfish giant stop others from entering the garden? The selfish giant shouted at children and built a huge wall around the garden. He also put up a notice. Trespassers will be prosecuted. This was shown while we were doing the story in the box. This way, he was able to keep everyone out of his garden. The next question. Question 5. What did the children do after reading the notice? Where do we begin the answer from? Correct. After reading the notice, the children did not enter the garden. Instead, they sat by the side of the garden wall and reflected the happy days. Reflected meaning thought. Question 6. What happened in the garden when the children started going there? When the children started going to the giant's garden, spring season also could be felt and seen, as the grass became green, flowers bloomed, trees began to bear fruits, and the songs of the birds could be heard. So you count some of the things on your fingers so it becomes easy to remember. I'm repeating and calling out the numbers. When the children started going to the giant's garden, spring season also could be felt and seen. Now, to see the spring, what are the things? Number 1, the grass became green. Number 2, flowers bloomed. Number 3, trees began to bear fruits. And number 4, the songs of the birds could be heard. Question 7. What surprised the giant? The giant was surprised at the season's response to the playful and innocent children. I repeat the answer. The giant was surprised at the season's response reacting to the playful and innocent children. Question 8. How did we know that the giant's heart was changed? Answer. We know that the giant's heart was changed or had changed, for he went and helped the little boy climb the tree. He knew the spring had come to his garden because of children. So his heart melted and he knocked down the garden wall. What is the word for knock down? Demolished. He told children that from then on the garden was theirs. It belonged to the children. These questions are from the selected extracts, certain paragraphs in your lesson. The paragraph, it was a large to one another. Now how are the questions to be answered here? You can pick them straight from the paragraph. Why would children stop their games? This is on the first page. The children stopped playing games in garden when they heard sweet songs of birds on trees. They did not want to disturb the singing birds. So see, you don't have to say silence. Children understand. Second question. How can you say that it was a beautiful garden? Again, it is from the paragraph. It was a beautiful garden, for it had soft green grass. Green, Green. Green grass and flowers. The trees blossomed or blew. Blossom meaning having flowers in spring, and had rich fruits in autumn. So the flowers turn into fruits, and birds too sang sweetly. So here again you can count grass turning green, flowers blooming, trees blossoming and bearing fruits, and birds singing, all four things. The second exercise, or the second paragraph is only in the garden up to not to grow. Why was there winter in the giant's garden? There was only winter in the giant's garden because the giant was selfish and stopped the children from playing in garden. The nature responds to human behavior. One more question from the same paragraph. Why did the little flower decide not to grow? When the little flower peeped out, that means to creep out, from the grass, it read notice on gate. What was the notice on the gate? Trespassers are not allowed or will be prosecuted, and felt sorry for children, so it decided not to grow. The last paragraph that we have here, only the little boy up to kissed him. How did the giant treat the little boy? The giant went quietly near the lonely little boy, gently taking him in his hand, he put him up on the tree. Second question. How did the tree and the little boy express their joy? Happiness. Answer. The little boy stretched out his arms and put them round the giant's neck and kissed him. And spring came to that corner and tree too felt happy. Now let's have some grammar part of it. The sentence in exercise are phrases, and the answer would be as follows. So if it is a phrase, so we'll underline whichever. The painting which is on the wall is, the painting is now on the wall. Which is on the wall is now for sale. It looks the sentence is incomplete. The painting which is on the wall is now for sale. The bird which is hidden in the tree is an owl. Now, which is hidden, wherever you have this type, they are not phrases. They are clauses. Farmer who is wearing a white turban is our neighbor. Now, I'll repeat once again. The farmer who is wearing white turban is our neighbor. The little boy who is standing under the tree is very intelligent. The poem saw a letter. It is not poem, it is peon. The peon saw a letter on the table which was for the team. All the books which are selected are kept here. My niece Rupa likes dolls which are painted. The meeting was held in a hall which was decorated. See the spelling of decorated. D-E-C-O-R-A-T-E-D after C-O. Now I'm repeating. The sentences in exercise are sentence with phrase. But here we have written only the answer. So for the sentences you look up in the exercise, the textbook. The answer will be as we have it here. You'll find that the words which are with phrases, they begin with a preposition. Paintings on the wall is now on sale. Now to make it a clause, you are writing which is on the wall. The bird is hidden in the tree. The hidden bird in the tree is an owl. That is how it is in your book. Which is hidden we have written, which is a clause. Reported speech, dialogue, is generally written in past tense. You also find it is a third person narration. Textbook, when you open, you will find the original piece, and here we have only the solution. He asked his Amma in a voice choked with emotion. So in place of that inverted commas and the question mark, we have used the word asked. His Amma in a voice choked with emotion. This is very much in your book. If he would be able to beat the champion. In your book it is, if I would be able to beat the champion. Now, whenever it is a question, you use the word if or whether. If he would. Now see, it is in past tense. Be able to beat the champion. To this, meaning reply, his Amma replied lovingly, that is to the question asked by the boy, lovingly, that he must learn to relax and enjoy the game. She also advised him not to get nervous about the opponent's name and fame. So all the underlined words are actually the changes in the paragraph that is given in your book. One more thing, keep it in mind. When it is a dialogue, and if it might be written one after the other, it has to be written as a reported speech in one paragraph, past tense and third person. A little activity. I'm coming back to the first part where we had the notice. Now on one side, they have given you what would be the words and how you would put it into the box. You have to write minimum words. You can't write very long sentences descriptive, which people will not feel like reading. The third box, please don't smoke in the hall or theatre. You find many times it is written. Smoking is prohibited. So see how it has been shortened. Smoking is prohibited. Now for exercise you can, write down which all areas smoking is prohibited. You go to petrol pump, it is not permitted. Yes. And in public places, it is not allowed. In theatres, it is not allowed. So all these places you can put up these notices. Smoking is prohibited, not allowed. In the second row, the second box, second row, second box, the sentence that reads, we start sale for clearance today. How will you put up the notice? See the box. Clearance sale only for today. It's not going to be endless. That is why clearance sale only for today. In the third row, third box, you can buy cycles from here. You can get them on hire also. So see the box, notice own or hire cycles here. Now you'll find that even BRTS is using this particular thing, that if you go to bus stop on the bicycle, park it, take the bus, and other place where you get down, take a cycle and walk to your working place. Writing section, we have a paragraph. You don't go for big long essay writing. It is generally a paragraph. Now, what is the paragraph here? Describe the nature around your or natural scenery environment around your school or house before and after rains. Natural environment around. Rains are such a relief after the hot scorching summer. See how you are supposed to write. Such a relief. You feel harsh. After the hot scorching summer, meaning burning summer, everything comes to life and wears a new and fresh look. Rains bathe the nature around us, especially trees. The nature smiles, birds sing, farmers dance, and children make paper boats and enjoy their sail on small muddy streams. They love to jump in puddles. No doubt, the places get muddy and dirty, and vehicles on roads splash muddy water on us. But the sweet smell of soil delights everyone's spirit that we forgive everything like Johnny and sing like Johnny, rain, rain, come again, little Johnny wants to play. So right, isn't it? So we can say the lesson has given you many practices, has increased your vocabulary, has given you a moral, and has been a constant inspiration to be kind to nature and to kind to children. And last one that we have is a writing section where you can use some of the words from the lesson in order to write the paragraph. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the session. Here and there, as I have already said, that few mistakes, but I have already spelled out for you. So keep that in mind. Thank you.